My name is Olivia Hayes. I'm 34 years old, and the night my boyfriend tried to fix me with an intervention was the night I quietly stopped being his girlfriend. "You're the worst girlfriend I've ever had," my boyfriend said, with his friends lined up behind him like a panel of judges. "We're here to teach you a lesson." That was the sentence that ripped the floor out from under my Friday night. Hey, Reddit. I thought I was coming home to leftover takeout and a quiet evening with my boyfriend Ryan. Maybe some trashy show. Maybe him half watching the game while pretending to answer work emails. Normal, boring, safe. Instead, when I opened the door to our townhouse, it felt less like home and more like a low-budget courtroom drama. The couch was shoved against the wall. 4 dining chairs were arranged in a half circle, facing one empty chair placed dead center like a spotlight. Ryan stood behind it, arms crossed, wearing that rehearsed, calm but disappointed expression I'd only ever seen when he wanted to make me feel small without raising his voice. Sitting in the chairs were his 4 best friends, Derek, Marco, Liam, and Josh. I call them the Wolf Pack. Not because they're dangerous, because they move in a group and howl a lot online. Every one of them was dressed like they'd watched the same alpha male podcast that morning. Tight shirts, smug smirks, wrists full of bracelets they'd call energy bands. I took one step into the room and instantly knew something was very wrong. "Liv, sit," Ryan said, gesturing to the empty chair. "We need to talk." That tone, the one people use after practicing in the mirror. Soft, fake concern with a hard edge underneath. I dropped my keys on the side table. "Did we move and forget to tell me? Because this looks like a rehab special." Derek jumped in first, like a discount group therapist. "We're doing an intervention," he announced, "for how you've been treating Ryan." "Ah, so I was the villain tonight." "An intervention," I repeated slowly. "Did my subscription to basic decency lapse without me knowing?" Marco leaned forward, elbows on his knees. "You're emotionally unavailable," he said, like he'd swallowed a psychology TikTok. "You never prioritize Ryan's needs." Liam cleared his throat, clearly trying to sound wise. "You've become distant. You're not affectionate. You don't support his goals." Josh, the loudest one, went in for the dramatic kill. "Honestly, Liv, we don't even know why he's still with you." I looked around at all 4 of them. It felt like I'd walked into a parody, except no one was laughing. Ryan rested his hands on the back of my chair like a judge about to deliver a sentence. "They care about me," he said. "They're just being honest. You need to hear how you've made me feel." I sat down slowly, crossed my legs, and leaned back. If they wanted a show, I'd at least pick a comfortable seat. "All right," I said. "Go on, gentlemen. Tell me who I am." Derek rolled his eyes. "This attitude is exactly the problem. You treat everything like a joke." "It's hard not to laugh," I said, "when the guy who got dumped because he spent rent money on crypto is telling me how to manage a relationship." His mouth dropped open. Marco snapped. "You're deflecting." "Says the man whose last girlfriend moved states just to get away from him," I replied. "I'm not sure I'm the one who needs an intervention here." Josh crossed his arms. "You're proving our point. You're mean, dismissive, and you make Ryan feel small." "You tried to fight a bartender because she cut you off," I reminded him. "Please don't speak to me about emotional regulation, Josh." Their faces tightened, offended. Ryan lifted his chin, trying to regain control. "See? You attack people instead of listening." I tilted my head. "And you," I said slowly, "instead of talking to your girlfriend like a grown man, invited your fan club over for a live performance." His jaw clenched. "You never listen when it's just us. You shut down, so I needed backup." "Ah," I said, "you needed an audience." They kept going for almost an hour, recycling phrases about emotional labor and not feeling seen, all twisted to paint me as some ice queen girlfriend who couldn't appreciate her wonderful, sensitive man. The whole time, I watched Ryan more than I listened. The way his eyes lit up every time one of them piled on, the way he nodded along like he was being validated, not humiliated. He wasn't uncomfortable, he was enjoying it. That was the first crack I saw. Eventually, Derek huffed. "Do you even care what we're saying?" "Oh, I care," I said. "This will be great material for my group chat later." "You're unbelievable," Josh muttered. "Finally, some accurate feedback," I replied. Ryan slammed his hand on the back of my chair. "Enough, Olivia. They came here for me, to support me, because you don't." The room went quiet. You could hear the rain hitting the window behind them, steady and relentless. I stood up slowly, feeling something strange. Not rage, not heartbreak. Just clarity, like the last piece of a puzzle finally snapping into place. "Okay," I said simply. "Thanks for the feedback." Ryan frowned. "That's it?" "That's it." I grabbed my jacket from the hook. "I'll work on these issues in my next relationship." The silence after that was almost beautiful. Derek's mouth opened and closed like a fish. Marco stared at Ryan like he'd misread the script. Liam finally looked unsure. Josh just muttered, "What the—" Ryan stepped around the chair, eyes wide. "What's that supposed to mean?" "It means," I said, sliding my arms into my jacket, "I'm not going to spend the rest of my life auditioning for a role you keep rewriting." "Liv, don't be dramatic," he snapped. "We're trying to save this." "No," I replied calmly. "You're trying to make me feel like I'm lucky you haven't left yet." I walked to the bedroom, grabbed my overnight bag, threw in some clothes, my laptop, phone charger. The essentials. The stuff I'd need if I decided not to come back. My phone was already buzzing with group texts I hadn't read yet. No doubt a pre-game chat where they rehearsed their lines. When I walked back through the living room, they were whispering urgently. Ryan followed me to the door. "Olivia, wait. You can't just leave. We need to talk." "You had hours," I said. "You chose a panel." "You're overreacting," he insisted. "We care about you. We want this to work." "Then you should have talked to me," I replied, "not performed for them." I opened the door. The rain was steady, cool air washing over me. I looked back at him one last time. "You wanted clarity, Ryan," I said. "You got it." I walked out, and for the first time in a very long time, I didn't feel like the problem. I felt free. At a cheap hotel across town, one I'd stayed at once for work, I checked in, dropped my bag, and sat on the edge of the bed. My phone lit up like it was having a seizure. Calls from Ryan, texts from the wolf pack, a wall of notifications. I put the phone face down. There's a weird calm that hits when you stop pretending someone is honest. Your brain, finally off defense mode, starts doing what it does best, connecting dots. First stop, our joint credit card. I opened the banking app, expecting the usual chaos. Groceries, gas, random online nonsense. What I found instead were patterns. Expensive dinners at restaurants I'd never been to. Weekday hotel charges I definitely hadn't used. All on nights he'd said he was working late or grabbing beers with the guys. I pulled up the dates. September 20th, 28th, October 12th, 29th, midweek. All times he'd texted that he was exhausted from meetings. Funny. I didn't remember being invited to the exhaustion. Next, I opened our phone records. That's where the truth stopped knocking and kicked the door in. One number, constant. Texts and calls almost daily. Over 140 interactions in a few months. Not saved under any name in his contacts. I copied it, searched it. One quick look up later, there she was. Chloe Martin, 33, Seattle. The name hit me like a memory I'd tried to forget. Ryan's college ex-girlfriend. The one he'd once said taught him what real love felt like before destroying him. I typed her name into social media. Her profile popped up. Smiling in bar selfies, curated candids, the usual. Mutual friends. Derek, Marco, Josh, of course. I scrolled back through her old posts and saw it. A trail. Heart emojis from Ryan on photos from years ago. Then newer comments. So proud of you. Still the funniest person I know. You look incredible, as always. Once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. My hands didn't shake. I didn't cry. Instead, I opened a new document and started taking notes. Dates, times, charges, phone calls, screenshots. I color-coded them because if I was going to burn this bridge, I was doing it with receipts. By the time it was past midnight, I had something that looked less like a relationship and more like a case file. Ryan thought tonight was an intervention about me. He had no idea he'd just given me the perfect opening statement for his own. I opened my laptop browser and typed, Seattle Family Law Attorney. I scrolled until one name kept repeating in the reviews. Catherine Brennan. Calm, strategic, unshakable. My kind of woman. I filled out the consultation form, attached a few files, and hit send. The rain outside kept falling, steady and relentless, like it was washing something off the city. I lay back on the bed, stared at the ceiling, and for the first time in months, I felt something close to peace. Ryan wanted a lesson. I was done being the student. By Monday morning, I walked into Attorney Catherine Brennan's office with the kind of calm that only comes after a storm you no longer fear. Kate stood as I entered, mid-40s, razor-sharp posture, dark suit, eyes that missed nothing. The kind of woman who could silence a room just by lifting an eyebrow. "You must be Olivia Hayes," she said, extending her hand. "Unfortunately," I replied, "but hopefully not for long." She smirked. "I like you already." We sat. I placed a neatly organized folder on her desk. Screenshots, statements, color-coded logs of every lie Ryan had told me over the last 4 months. Kate flipped through it, scanning page after page with a surgeon's focus. After 10 minutes, she looked up. "You're more prepared than half my clients combined." "I'm motivated," I said. "You should be. This is clear misuse of joint funds, emotional manipulation, and reputational harm. But you've handled it calmly. That puts you at an advantage." Calm. Funny word for what I felt. But she wasn't wrong. Once denial dies, clarity moves in fast. Kate laid out the plan. "You're going to avoid emotional communication. No responding to long texts, and absolutely no replying to his friends." "That won't be a problem," I said. She nodded. "Good. We'll prepare the separation paperwork. I'll have him served in a subtle but effective location. Public enough to matter, private enough to keep it clean." I leaned back. "Perfect! He loves optics. Let's ruin them." Kate smiled. The kind lawyers give right before they checkmate someone. The Wolfpack, however, did not share her professionalism. The moment I left her office, my phone lit up with notifications, Instagram stories, cryptic quotes, group reposts. Derek. "When a woman can't handle real love, she calls it control." Marco reposted it with, "Men deserve honesty." Josh added a black and white gym selfie captioned, "Never apologize for knowing your worth." Liam liked it all but didn't add anything. He never did. The quiet one. The observer. Then came the DMs. A flood. "You owe him a real conversation. You emotionally abandoned him. You're acting unstable and making him look bad." I took screenshots of every single one and sent them to Kate. She replied in 2 minutes. "Perfect. Silence wins. Keep documenting." I turned my phone face down. By Friday night, the noise escalated. A knock slammed against my apartment door. Loud, angry, impatient. I opened it a crack. A man stood there. Tall, gym-built, shaved head, veins popping. The kind who thinks conflict is personality. "You Olivia?" he grunted. "Depends," I said. "Are you selling something or trying to get your feelings hurt tonight?" He frowned. "Derek sent me. Said you're harassing him and the guys." Ah, the Wolfpack had finally outsourced their spine. I crossed my arms. "Let me guess. Derek said I ruined his mental health by existing?" "He said you're lying about everything online," the guy pressed. I couldn't help the laugh that slipped out. "He also lie about cheating on his girlfriend every Thursday at Moonlight Bar? Or did he leave that part out?" His expression cracked. "What?" "Yeah," I said casually. "Check her Instagram. She's tagged near that bar every single Thursday, while you're working nights." He blinked, took out his phone, scrolled faster. His jaw dropped. I didn't know." "Of course not," I said. "He sent you here hoping you'd swing first so he could cry victim. You deserve better friends, and better women." He nodded slowly, embarrassed. "Damn, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have come here." "It's all good," I said, tapping the door. "Just remember who sent you." He walked away stunned. 5 minutes later, my phone rang. "Derek." I let it ring twice before picking up. The moment I said hello, he screamed, "What the hell did you tell him? You ruined everything." I leaned against the doorframe, bored. "You're welcome. Maybe next time don't send strangers to my home." "You're insane." "No," I replied. "I'm thorough." And I hung up. By Saturday morning, every member of the Wolfpack had unfollowed me. A small victory, but a satisfying one. Monday noon, Kate called. "You ready for phase 2? I took a sip of my coffee. Born ready. "Papers are finalized. He'll be served Wednesday. Location, Brewline Sports Bar. His usual spot." I smirked. "Oh, that's perfect. Always nice when karma matches someone's aesthetic." Kate chuckled. "I'll text you when it happens." That afternoon, I stopped by her office to sign the final packet. She reviewed everything. My evidence, her affidavit, the financial timeline, all crisp and bulletproof. Before I left, she said, "Most people rage or spiral at this stage. You're composed." I shrugged. Yelling doesn't hit as hard as silence. "You're absolutely right," she said. "Let's keep it that way." Back home, I saw a text from Ryan sitting unread in my notifications. "I don't understand why you're acting like this. You're overreacting. We can fix this." I didn't even open it. I deleted the message and blocked his number. temporarily. Blocking someone too early looks emotional. Blocking at the right moment looks strategic. Then I sat back at my kitchen table, took a slow breath, and realized something important. This wasn't heartbreak. This was liberation wearing the mask of exhaustion. And I wasn't done. Wednesday came with a strange kind of calm, the kind you feel right before a storm hits someone else. At 12:43 p.m., my phone buzzed. Kate. He's been served. Brewline Sports Bar, right in front of them. I stared at the message for a second, then exhaled. Not relief, not joy, just confirmation. A notification pinged a moment later. Instagram exploding with new stories. Ryan had been served the very thing he tried to weaponize against me, embarrassment. And predictably, he and the wolf pack did what insecure people do when cornered. They sprinted to social media to rewrite the story first. Ryan's story. You can give your all to someone and still be abandoned. Some people don't know how to love a good man. Derek reposted it. Real men get punished for honesty. Marco added, women always run when they're exposed. Josh wrote, never apologize for leveling up. Liam, he watched silently. No posts, no comments. But he saw everything. And I saw him watching. I didn't respond, didn't react, didn't even view their stories from my real account. Instead, I screenshotted each one and forwarded it to Kate. Her reply came fast. Kate, perfect. Everything they say is more evidence of character defamation. Keep doing nothing. Silence wins. Silence. It was becoming my favorite weapon. By Friday afternoon, everything escalated. A random number texted me, you destroyed him, hope you're proud. Then another, everyone knows you're lying. Then, you should be ashamed. Classic Wolfpack energy. Anonymous bravery. I screenshotted every message. Minutes later, another text came in. This time from someone I didn't expect. Liam. Hey, can we talk? Not to fight, I just need to clear the air. I stared at his name for a long moment. He'd been the only one who didn't join the dog pile. The only one who'd ever looked unsure during the intervention. Curiosity 1. Sure. Park by the waterfront. 20 minutes. Liam was already there when I arrived, hands shoved in his pockets, looking smaller without the pack behind him. Thanks for coming, he said quietly. Say what you need to say, I replied. He swallowed hard. Look, things got out of hand. I didn't expect all of that, and honestly, I feel bad. I didn't answer, just waited. We believed him, Liam continued. He told us you were verbally abusive, that you screamed at him, controlled the money, tried to isolate him. There it was, the lie he planted to justify cheating. I took out my phone. Mind if I record? Just so I don't misquote anything later. He nodded, so I hit record. Everything you guys said during that intervention, I asked, that was based on what Ryan told you? He nodded, eyes on the ground. Yeah, he made it sound bad, like he was trapped. But after everything that happened online, Jam, I'm not sure anymore. You don't seem like the monster he described. Monster. My fingers tightened around the phone, but my voice was calm. So he said I was abusive? Yes, he said you controlled everything, that you refused to talk to him, that he was miserable. And that's why you all backed him? Liam exhaled slowly. We thought we were helping. I nodded. You know now. He looked up at me, regret all over his face. He needs help. He's not okay, and I'm sorry for my part in it. I stopped recording. Apology accepted, I said quietly. But next time, don't volunteer to ruin someone's life without checking the facts. He nodded, stepped back, and left without another word. I sent the audio file to Kate. 10 minutes later, she called. Her voice was sharper than usual, excited even. That recording, Kate said, might be the final nail. False abuse claims, coordinated humiliation, financial infidelity, patterned gaslighting. It's all consistent now. So, what's next? I asked. We end this, she said. I'm scheduling a joint meeting. Him, his lawyer, and all 4 of them as witnesses. My heart didn't race. It didn't sink. It simply steadied. Tell me when, I said. Tomorrow, 3 p.m. Wear something you feel powerful in. I smiled. Don't worry, I already know exactly what I'm wearing. That night, I returned to the townhouse for the last of my things. The place looked the same. Same couch, same rug, same picture on the wall, but none of it felt familiar. I grabbed the last box from the bedroom closet. Old notebooks, tangled chargers, a sweater I'd forgotten I owned. On the kitchen counter, one of his scented candles burned low. I blew it out, watched the smoke rise and fade. Then I stood in the empty living room, the place where I'd once imagined a future, and felt absolutely nothing. I locked the door behind me and walked to my car. Tomorrow at 3 p.m., everything would change. Not just for Ryan, For every friend who played judge, jury, and executioner without knowing the truth. Tomorrow, they'd all finally see who really caused this. And for the first time since the intervention, I felt something that wasn't anger or exhaustion. Anticipation. At 3:00 p.m. sharp, I walked into Attorney Catherine Brennan's conference room, a glass-walled, sunlit space that managed to feel both sterile and intimidating. Perfect battlefield. Kate gestured for me to sit beside her. "Stay calm, stay quiet," she murmured. "They'll destroy themselves. Just give them the space." The door opened. Ryan walked in first with his lawyer, Ross, a nervous man in an ill-fitting suit. Right behind them came the wolf pack: Derek, Marco, Josh, and Liam. But something was different. They weren't smug, they weren't loud. They looked uneasy. Good. Even better, they clearly didn't know why they were here. Josh whispered, "Did she finally admit she was lying?" Derek muttered, "Bro, this is gonna be easy." Marco smirked at me, like he still thought he had the moral high ground. Liam didn't look at me at all. Kate closed her folder with a soft click that somehow made the entire room freeze. "Thank you for coming," she said. "Let's begin." We started with the financials. "We'll review joint account statements from the last 8 months," Kate announced, sliding copies across the table. Derek frowned. "Why are we looking at receipts?" Kate pointed sharply at a highlighted section. $186 at El Gaucho, $247 at Hotel Monaco, $210 at Canley's, all midweek. Josh blinked. "We didn't go to those places." Marco nudged Ryan. "Dude, these are kind of pricey." Ryan stiffened. "This isn't relevant." Kate didn't even glance at him. "It's extremely relevant," she said. "These expenses were charged using marital funds." I saw Ryan's jaw clench. "You're not married," he spat. "No," Kate corrected evenly. "But you live together, share financial accounts, and present as a domestic partnership. Legally, misuse of jointly held funds still applies." Ross shifted nervously in his seat. Ryan's voice rose. "Those dinners were business." Kate slid another sheet in front of him. "And the 4 weekday hotel stays?" Silence. Then she opened the phone records. "Next," Kate said, "the communication logs." She slid another set of papers across the table. One number appears 147 times in 3 months. She tapped the header. "Chloe, Martin, Ryan's ex-girlfriend." Ryan's face drained of color. "This is blown out of..." "So what was it?" Kate asked coolly. "Business mentoring, spiritual counseling, weekly prayer?" I nearly smiled. Kate was ruthless in silk. Derek frowned, leaning toward Ryan. "Bro, you told us you weren't talking to her." Josh added, "You said she was crazy and stalking you." Marco nodded. "And that Liv was suffocating you." Ryan slammed his hand on the table. "I did say that, because it was true." Kate calmly held up her hand. "We're not finished." She turned to me. "Olivia, would you please play the recording?" I pressed play. Liam's voice filled the room. We believed him. He told us she was verbally abusive, that she screamed at him, controlled the money, tried to isolate him. The room froze. Liam stared at the table, face pale. Kate spoke, her voice controlled and quiet, more dangerous than yelling. "This recording shows deliberate character smearing, false accusations, and coordinated humiliation via a staged intervention. Coupled with financial infidelity, this establishes a pattern of emotional manipulation." Ross swallowed hard. "My client didn't..." Kate cut him off. "Your client lied. Let's be direct." Ryan exploded. "Oh, come on! I only told them that because they were telling me I needed to justify talking to Chloe. They told me Olivia was toxic, that she didn't appreciate me, that maybe Chloe was the better option." He pointed at the wolf pack. Derek shot up from his seat. "Don't you dare put this on us." Marco glared. "You begged us to help make her jealous." Josh threw his hands up. "We didn't tell you to cheat." Ryan jabbed a finger at Derek. "You sent me her Instagram profile." "And you were already liking her posts," Derek snapped. "You told us Olivia was cold," Josh yelled. "You said she didn't care about you," Marco added. Liam finally raised his head, eyes burning. "You lied to all of us." Ryan spun. "Oh, please, you all hated Olivia. I just gave you what you wanted to hear." That was the spark that lit the explosion. Derek stood red-faced. "We defended you for months." Josh pointed at me. "We humiliated her for you." Marco shoved his chair back. "We looked like idiots because of your lies." Ryan screamed, "You told me to reach out to Chloe." Tiana and Karen level chaos, but male, louder, and somehow even pettier. Kate leaned toward me and whispered, "I told you. Give insecure men a microphone and they tear themselves apart." I kept my face perfectly still. Then the final blow came. and it came from the one person I didn't expect. Liam. He stood and said quietly, "You don't get to blame us for your cheating. You don't get to blame her for your lies." Ryan stared at him, stunned. "You're weak," Liam said, "and every one of us let you drag us down with you." Silence crashed over the room. Even Kate looked impressed. Within seconds, the wolf pack started grabbing their jackets. "We're done," Derek muttered. "Don't call us," Marco snapped. "You're toxic, man," Josh said. Liam simply walked out. One by one, they abandoned him, the same way he had tried to make me feel abandoned. As they left, I lifted a hand and gave a small, polite wave. "Thanks for coming, guys." The door slammed behind them. Now it was just Ryan, his trembling lawyer, Kate, and me. Kate slid the final document across the table. "Sign the settlement agreement," she said. "Division of assets, restitution of misused funds, and legal fees." Ryan stared at the paper, then at me. "You really hate me that much?" he whispered. I shook my head. "No, Ryan, hate takes effort. I'm just done performing." Tears filled his eyes. "You destroyed everything." I stood, smoothing my blazer. "No," I said softly. "You did. I just stopped covering for you." Ross leaned over and muttered something. Ryan picked up the pen with a shaking hand and signed. Kate collected the papers, stacked them neatly, and closed the folder. "We'll file these by morning. Good day." Ryan didn't look at me as I walked out. I didn't look back. Not once. 3 months after that meeting, the one where Ryan's entire world collapsed in front of him, my divorce-adjacent paperwork was finalized. No court spectacle, no breakdowns in hallways, no last-minute pleas. Just signatures, silence, and freedom. Kate texted me the moment everything processed. "Kate, congratulations. You're officially done with him." I stared at the message for a long moment, then set my phone down and let the feeling sink in. Not joy, not gloating, just weightlessness. The kind you feel when you set something heavy down after carrying it for too long. With part of the settlement, including restitution for the money he spent on Chloe, I bought a small condo near Green Lake. Nothing fancy. But the first night I slept there, alone in a space full of quiet instead of chaos, I realized how long it had been since I'd actually rested. At work, people noticed the change immediately. My boss said, "Olivia, whatever yoga cult you joined, stay in it. You look 10 years younger." I didn't join a cult. I just walked out of one. Life slowed down is the best way. I cooked for myself. I went to bed early. I didn't have to tiptoe around someone else's insecurities. For the first time in years, I wasn't managing someone else's emotions, just my own. And it felt like oxygen. Meanwhile, the wolf pack imploded spectacularly. Karma working overtime with no breaks, no lunch, and no mercy. It started with a notification. Zach posted a new story. Zach, Derek's boyfriend. Yes, the same one Derek insisted was obsessed with him. Zach had posted a breakup rant. Funny how I stayed loyal while he spent every Thursday with someone else. Moonlight Bar. The same bar I told Derek's enforcer about. Then it spread. Someone at Marco's job leaked screenshots of him gossiping about clients in a private group chat. He was fired a week later. Josh posted a long "We all make mistakes" speech on Facebook, trying to do PR cleanup, only for the comments to roast him into dust. And Liam? He deleted social media entirely. Last I heard, he moved to Tacoma, started therapy, and quietly cut ties with all of them. I didn't smile at any of it. Okay, that's a lie. I smiled at exactly one post, then closed the app and went back to my movie. Not out of cruelty, just satisfaction. I didn't ruin their lives. Their choices did. I just stopped shielding them from the consequences. 6 months later, life had settled into something peaceful, predictable in the best way. And then, on a random Tuesday evening, inside a Walmart frozen aisle, life threw me one last plot twist. I was deciding between 2 brands of frozen dumplings when a familiar voice whispered, "Olivia?" I turned. Ryan stood there, or the version of him left after everything burned down. He looked smaller, not physically, just diminished, like someone had dimmed the brightness on him. Dark circles under his eyes, hair unstyled, hoodie too big, too old, hands shaking slightly as he held a basket of clearance microwave dinners. "Hi, Ryan," I said. His throat bobbed. You look good, really good." "Healthy peace will do that to you," I replied. He tried to smile, but it flickered and died halfway. "I've been meaning to reach out," he said. "I just didn't know how." "You did," I said. "The legal paperwork handled it." He winced like I'd slapped him. After a moment, he whispered, "I'm sorry. For everything. I lost everything after that meeting." He stared at the freezer door instead of me. "Chloe blocked me. My friends, they're gone. Work's been tough. My apartment, it's not great." His voice cracked. "I know I don't deserve anything from you, but I'd do anything for another chance. I still want a future with you, marriage, kids. I want to make things right." I looked at him, really looked, and felt nothing. No anger, no pain, no revenge thrill. Just a quiet kind of sadness, not for him, but for the version of me who once would have believed him. "Ryan," I said softly, "you didn't lose everything. You lost the things you took for granted." His eyes filled. "You're right, I ruined it, all of it." "I hope you fix yourself," I said, "but that's your job now, not mine." He whispered, "Goodbye, Olivia." "Take care of yourself," I replied, and walked away. I didn't look back. Not once. A year later, I went to a mutual friend's wedding, one of the few events where I knew I'd run into people from the old life. I almost didn't go, but curiosity is a powerful thing. The venue was beautiful, music soft, food incredible, and for the first time in a long time, I felt comfortable in my own skin again. Halfway through the reception, I saw her, Stephanie, from the bride's side, talking with a group of women. Behind her, in the back corner, was Ryan. Alone, no wolf pack, no Chloe, just him and a glass of water he kept refilling like it gave him something to do. I spotted him just as I was laughing with someone from the groom's side, a man with kind eyes, easy humor, and absolutely zero interest in performing masculinity like it was an Olympic sport. Ryan looked over. I gave him a polite nod. Nothing more. He tried to smile back, but it never reached his eyes. And for the first time, I understood something with complete clarity. The intervention he staged to break me was the moment I began rebuilding myself. He tried to destroy my confidence, and all he did was hand it back to me. People think power comes from fighting back. But the truth is simple. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is agreeing with someone who's